time once again, boys and girls. Hello, everyone. This is Miko.
What reference is this?
I have no. It's something that came up on the top of my head recently. I tried to do a Monokuma, but it just came out wrong.
Oh. Yeah, I think that wasn't terribly good. I'm sorry.
Alright. Hey everyone, this is Mikoi. Welcome back to another episode of TLT Recap. I am joined once again by...
PokeR 2004.
And today, people, we have Week 7 to cover. Well, Round 7. Two matches that had happened. I already covered the first one in the last video. So we're just gonna go around and review Stariel versus Trade because... that's the only one that happened in this week in particular, and it's the only one that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
So, Stariel versus Trade. Trade 1-4, which goes against our predictions, but to be honest...
Trade did not play terribly well versus Blimax last time. They played better here.
They definitely did play better here, and knocking out Stariel from the tour itself, that's a huge feat because everyone picked Stariel was going to win this time after, the cucking that was last TLT finals. So this time Stariel actually lost his place in the top 6 and is now Trade who takes the center stage now. So let's review the matches. First off was OU.
I did not see this live.
I went back and watched the replay of it after the game has already finished, which is 5 minutes too late.
Alright.
But
Since this is the only set we have to review, we can go a little more in depth because we're not going to be rushing to other things.
Yeah, this time I didn't actually take notes. I just watched the replay as it is, and I'm just kind of talking through it as if it were live. So what happened here? So we got an interesting set of teams, teams from either side. You can definitely tell that these two have played OU for a long time because look at those teams. These are teams that they were built for. These kinds of players.
They have 3 of the same mons.
They do. They have the omnipresent Weavile, the always bulky Tapu Fini, and the
always present.
And the always abundant. He's the always abundant Pokemon. So he's the abundance Pokemon, Lander Asterion. It only makes sense if it would be abundant.
Is that actually the Dex entry, or?
I think it is.
I prove it.
I will check. I will recheck with you after the recording. So, this game, you can definitely tell who's gonna win, judging from the plays that they made. Stariel definitely has the edge here after playing OU for a while, and even though Trade looked decent.
I'm watching it right now. Stariel's losing.
Well, the first half. Okay, the first half of it, Trade basically kind of dominated Stariel. Maybe because it was just trying to, how do I put this? Trying to find his footing again, basically. So it was a pretty good match. It's between two OU mains, so would you expect a bad match from either of them? Some interesting sets that had happened in this encounter. First off, the Scarf Kartana with Defog. How do you feel about that? Or are you watching the match again? Oops. So, as we were saying, how did you feel about some of the sets here, like Scarf Kartana with Defog?
That was certainly interesting.
Yeah, you'd never.
Very unusual.
Yeah, people call that. I've actually seen that set quite a lot in OU, so I had some sort of
Really?
an idea. I had some sort of an idea going into because Kartana is usually Kartana, big physical sweeper with choice band is really good, but yeah, Defog is certainly an interesting choice. But the others have pretty standard, I guess, sets. Like you got your, I think this was Heavy Duty Boots Weavile, and Assault with Slow King, Choice Specs Dragapult, and all that stuff.
Anyways, so I recall Trade saying they lost to Hacks in this OU game.
Let's see where.
After watching the game, I think what they meant was the crit on Slow King and quite possibly a low roll on top of Vini at the end.
Yeah, that's certainly that was certainly that certainly mattered in the end, especially had that crit not happen. He Trade could have easily took the game by keeping the Dragapult as healthy. So yeah, it would also had the Dragapult healthy just in case for top of Vini. Anyway,
I don't know about that, but like, it would have helped to not just have that thing outright die, maybe, because he could have, because they could have future state.
Yeah, because Finny existed, and Stereo would have
Of course, he probably had that.
Yeah, he probably knew that in advance, and that's why Stereo ultimately took the win there in a pretty, well, I wouldn't say clean because there was the aforementioned hacks, but it was certainly a more even game.
It wasn't terribly hacked. He was just at the end.
It was pretty clean for most of it. All right, next up is Ubers, and this is basically the OU game, but in Trade's favor. Am I wrong in saying that? Because Trade mains Ubers more than Serial, so it was pretty expected that Trade would take this. But I definitely do like some of the.
When you put it that way, yeah, it makes sense.
But some of the sets that they brought were pretty interesting. Like, the Groudon, for example, had Stealth Rock bulk up Precipice Blades, which usually with Groudon, I always see Groudon either being support with Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave, Precipice Blades, and something else, probably Stone Edge, or just being an all-out attacker. But here it's actually kind of a mix.
Yeah.
And of course, you can't forget about when Groudon is there, Manatan and Galar-Zen is can really pack a punch.
Oh yeah.
So the game again really wasn't that surprising that he went to Trade because he played better, but Storiel can definitely hold up his own, especially with that Zekrom, which had Roost, which I originally thought that this was a defensive Zekrom, but I think Zekrom is tanky enough naturally, so.
Yeah, it's not exactly frail.
Mm-hmm. And of course, can't forget about Dragon Dance, Morning Sun, Necrozma Duskmane, which has.
Yeah, didn't both of their Necrozmas have that?
Yeah, they did. With
knockoff for both of them?
Yeah, both had knockoff, and both are.
And Dragon Dance and Morning Sun. I think it was just the same set.
It was the same set.
Maybe.
It was the same set, and the more times that that Dragon Dance that knockoff hits on both sides, like you could tell like how much tanking they did. Like both of them had tanked at least one hit. It did like 50 to 60 other side.
No, for a while it wasn't even doing half.
Wow. That just goes to show you how bulky these things are. How incredibly bulky these things are.
And yet they were boosted to like 2, 2.5.
Mm-hmm. They had +3 up on either side. And Trade
I'm
ultimately.
still doing less than half.
And ultimately, the game came down to Galarian Darmanitan. I think destroyed. Was it Groudon first? I think it destroyed Groudon first. Then came the Blissey, and then the finishing blow was Yveltal knocking out Starreel's own Duskmane to ultimately take the win in Ubers. All right, next up
I wonder what set Starreel had for his Yveltal, because, like, Foul Play, Oblivion Wing, and it didn't have boots.
Didn't have boots.
And nor did it have Life Orb.
Bold prediction, but I think it's Assault Vest. Bold.
That's a thing?
I saw some AV Yveltal running somewhere in the ladder.
I guess it could make sense for Calyrex, but, like...
Yeah.
Boots is superior, in my opinion.
Boots is definitely the more preferable of the two. So, interesting games here.
And then, let me tell you, I think that Groudon was like, especially bulky, because, like... Oblivion Wing, it didn't do much, and then it just revenge killed
the tank too. Oblivion Wing.
The freaking Yveltal in one hit.
That was really epic, and that's just to show you how any Groudon spread can easily matter in the end. So
it's a Groudon, of course.
Yeah. All right, next up is LC, and I think you were internally screaming right now because Trade brought Sun.
Maybe a little.
Yeah, Trade played well with the Sun team in LC. Like, judging by the teams, like, okay, got this specific team in LC, especially with Charmander and Vulpix doing most of the brunt work, and so did Ponyta. That was pretty impressive.
Sunny day.
Yeah. Yes, we have referenced Sesame Street on TLT podcasts. So yeah, Weather Ball was definitely the move of this game because it kept basically did a lot, especially to Marini.
Yeah.
And the rest of the game was basically Trade outplaying. For example, like keeping the Mienfoo healthy to get the high jump kicks on both Porygon. And
you know what else was cool? Hypnosis on Vulpix.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And the fact it hit.
It did hit, and that ultimately gave him the game. Yeah, I think it was twice. Yeah. Ultimately, that ended up benefiting Trade so much in that series. It was really incredible to see. And ultimately, it was Weather Ball that basically took out first off the Poniard, and then ultimately at the end the Marini with Charmander. Good on you, Trade. Good on Trade for playing exceptionally well in LC with a team that may be considered as niche. So
Sun is OP if you play it right.
Just ask Pokeart. She's been running Sun since Gen 7 PU. And speaking
of... No, that wasn't the original Sun.
No, well... Oh, wait,
it was Gen 7 NU that was the original Sun. However, the Gen 7 PU may have actually seen more success in its tier.
Same. I've been using that a lot, and it's won me some room tours. Some big boy points.
Yeah, it's great for stall breakers and just general play.
Speaking of PU, last game in the set, Trade versus Starreel, PU. Trade 1 PU.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we didn't see that because they never linked it.
They never linked it because I think Starreel was too tilted too because it was losing 1 and 2 at this point. And
balance, he was too tilted.
He had
was
been
so off
tilted.
balance that he couldn't properly link it.
Oh well. Oh well. So we expected Trade to win PU because Trade's a goat in PU. Sterial of course brought stall. No surprise. While Trade brought pretty much wall breakers. Pretty much all stall breakers.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
I guess Trade figured. Yeah,
That
I
thing.
get the feeling I know what Star's gonna bring
You know
here.
that playstyle you've been playing.
What Star Real is going to bring here.
Stall real.
The real stall.
Stall real. Well, first off, I like this. I like the muscle band instead of choice band. Trade bought muscle band on Gallade.
What does that even do again?
I think it raises up physical moves by 1.5
By like 1.1?
or 1.1. Sorry, 1.1. Yeah, but
Yo, if it was 1.5, that'd be really OP.
that's choice band. That is already choice band.
Yeah.
Anyway, he also had Leaf Blade to take out, everyone's favorite, Sire. That was specifically...
That's actually not too uncommon. A team I received from Trade, when I was still in TLT, that Gallade I used also had Leaf Blade.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's the natural Sire killer. Any Sire would be dead to grass moves. Just grass moves in general. I mean, Ferroseed types of play here. And the rest of the game was basically how long does Sterial have to stall Trade out, because Trade was definitely like outplaying Sterial at every sense of the matter here. There was no real competition for Trade because he definitely had this in the bag. Mummy Pokemon. Coffin Pokemon actually he took out Aggron and Audino with Body Press.
Yeah, that's not exactly uncommon.
That is not exactly uncommon, but you know what?
Iron Defense, Body Press, everything.
You know the iron
things that are immune, and even then, it probably had Shadow Ball too.
Yeah, and just goes to show you how Cofagrigus is a real Chad behind the scenes. So, and yeah, for the most of it, and it ended up being Sneasel who dealt the last remaining blows. I mean, it ended up basically sweeping at the end, and it was also heavy duty, so just to offset rocks.
Yeah, so all in all, Trey definitely did a better job preparing for this, I'd say.
Yeah, because as we said before, that Stariel is a bit easier to prep against than Blimax was, so Trade definitely had an easier time with this.
So better play, and I think better prep too, maybe.
I guess you could say that's a good trade-off.
I swear to God.
Yeah, that's right. I got your high-quality puns here. Let's move on now because I've already covered Richard versus Crying in the last video. Oh boy. I don't think you've... Oh, wait. Have you seen those games?
Yeah, I think I have, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, we've already covered that, Richard versus Crying, in the video if you want to check it out.
I think I saw them last week.
Yeah.
Before we covered them.
They played before we even got to record the video. Spike.
Yeah. Like the day of, but still before.
Alright, this one, round 8, we don't have to worry about that because neither of these matches actually happened yet, so yay, we got the jump on them! Alright.
Wow, okay.
Alright, so first off, predictions now for round 8, which is the winner's bracket finals versus the loser's bracket finals. So we're getting close to the end of TLT, folks. These are our top 4 remaining competitors: Blimax, Danny YSB, or Danny Now, as he name changed in Smogon, Crying, and Trade. Definitely an all-star lineup of a selective who's who on who's going to win TLT. So, Danny versus Blimax in winners finals. Who's going to win?
They have their tiers locked.
Ubers, UU, NU, PU, and LC.
Oh,
Definitely a more even contest. I assume like Blimax locked Ubers and Danny locked NU, and then the rest were
probably.
yeah, and then the rest were just cannon fodder. But let's see.
Really difficult to say.
I will. Okay, I definitely do think Blimax is gonna take Ubers. I definitely.
Obviously.
I'm also gonna say that Blimax will take UU because UU stall Blimax is easier to do than say whatever the crap they're doing in UU these days.
Danny might be watching this video. Careful.
Sorry.
Might be helping them.
I don't know. Maybe I've been proven wrong. Maybe Blimax will actually build something other than the thing. So.
Okay.
So.
We won't say anything else.
All right. So, Danny will take NU. Danny will also take PU. No. Actually, no. Thinking about it more, I think Blimax has got PU. Yeah. I'll say Blimax will get PU.
I think Danny's decent at it. I haven't seen a ton of PU from Danny though.
Yeah. For someone who has mained lower tiers, I really need to see Danny play PU to ensure that he will get my vote. But for now, I'd say Blimax is the better player. And then
overall, I'd say Blimax is better.
Yeah, and LC Blimax should take this one. So yeah, this is gonna be not that surprising considering Blimax is a GOAT. So.
Like, I've played against both players in room tours. Blimax is definitely the better one.
Yeah, same here.
Like, I can actually outplay Danny in NU sometimes.
You have beaten Danny.
Okay.
You have beaten Danny before in BLT. So.
Well, that was. Well, let's just say he didn't know my Quillfish had poison jab.
Yeah. Bring something that can kill poison jab Quillfish next time. Alright.
Yeah, times I faced Blimax is usually domination.
Yeah, Blimax is definitely
better.
So definitely better. Blimax is gonna take this winners bracket finals. Kinda unsurprising. This will definitely go to 4 games, I bet. So
Probably. I don't really see Blimax winning NU.
Yeah. Expect a good series, but a predictable one. I'll just say that. So, let's move on now to the more interesting, I would say the more interesting matchup. It's Crying versus Trade, the losers bracket finals. So, this one's definitely closer. I bet this is going to go to 5 games. I really don't.
Do they have tiers yet?
I don't see.
Check their walls. Stalk them.
Time to go undercover, folks. So we just checked their walls and nothing. We can't say anything about Crying versus Trade. So we'll just predict it based on how many tiers each of them are good at in the tiers that are in TLT. So, Ubers. This is definitely going to be a close one. I'll say Trade is better.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Although I could see Crying winning.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, Trade has definitely a lot more logical sense of... Since you know, Trade is a AG Ubers player, they know their meta more. Crying's going to take OU. I think.
Yeah, probably, but again, that's winnable for Trade.
That is winnable.
As well.
As long as Trade gets a good matchup, they can probably win, but overall performance would say... Or outplays, but in terms of, like, times I've seen them in OU, tearing up the OU ladder, I definitely think Crying has that one. UU is a little harder.
I'm gonna go with my gut and say Crying for that.
Okay, I'll trust your judgment, because I think they're evenly matched in UU, so...
Like, legit, that's actually my gut. I don't know
Punch
why
gut.
I feel that.
All right.
Oh,
RU.
and maybe it's because Phantom Mystic said it too. I didn't read that till just now, but
Okay.
seems we're in agreement with that.
All right. I'll trust your judgment on that. RU. I think this is gonna go to crying.
Really?
I think they're better. I think from the room tours that I'm seeing during BLT quals, I definitely think crying has more of the edge in RU.
Well, okay.
NU
About NU.
NU is the hardest, but
I want to say trade for that.
but I'll say trade because having been in that lower tiers compendium, you would think that trade's one of the goats there. So definitely a prediction
and
there.
I guess Phantom Mystics agrees.
And PU definitely trade has that
Trade,
in
yeah.
spades.
That should be trade.
LC, I would say trade.
Fair enough. I don't recall seeing much of Crying playing LC.
Same here. I will say trade has definitely a better grasp after last week and probably the week before. I definitely think that trade has improved in LC. Doubles, crying.
Yeah, Crying actually plays that.
Yeah, and crying's the better doubles player. Monotype.
Well,
Evenly matched again. This is another one of those tiers that are evenly matched. I think for my gut feeling says that crying is gonna win monotype.
my gut feeling is we don't even have to predict that because they won't play it.
You sure? You think so?
No one wants to play Monotype except Richard Pepper.
Hey, I play monotype.
Be quiet. Have you ever seen a series in this tour that had Monotype in it that wasn't with Richard Pepper? Oh wait, LCAP.
LCAP.
And Richard Pepper. Have you seen a single series in this tour that had Monotype?
I don't think so, honestly. Honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think so. Maybe
I just thought about
they
it,
were the
and the
first
only other
bands.
person that came to mind was LCAP.
Oh boy. The absolute state of monotype. Only Richard and LCAP play it. Jesus Christ. But yeah. I'd say this was if they do get the chance to play monotype, I'll say crying wins.
They won't play Monotype.
that is what you're.
But if they do, I say trade wins.
Okay. So how many is that?
Unless bad MU.
Okay. How many tiers is that for each of these sides?
Oh crap.
So 4-4 crying trade. Monotype's gonna be the
Wait, how many tiers are there?
9, I think.
Honey? Lures? That's not good.
Yeah, that so we're stuck here at 4-4. Maybe trade could win RU. Maybe trade could win RU, and that will push.
Is the recording unpaused?
Yeah, the recording's on pause. But maybe trade could win RU, but it's a tie. It's a split decision, man. It's like a 1-1 judge's decision.
Yeah, I really feel they're pretty even in tiers they're good at.
Yeah. So that's gonna be hard to predict. I think with the boost of monotype better be played then. So
No, it won't be.
Alright.
Let me ask you. In order to determine who wins this, who do you think has a better chance of pulling an upset in a tier they are not normally favored for?
That's a good question. And I'll say trade. I'll say trade for that one.
So we're thinking trade will win overall?
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like the most likely option by now. So, I think because they're also evenly matched in OU and RU, I think that trade could definitely pull off an upset in those tiers because they also play OU. I think OU is gonna be that crucial one. If they don't play OU, then I'm gonna be sad. But this is definitely a hard one to predict. But we will say trade. We will say trade wins.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's brought us to the end of this video. I said in the reserved post that this was gonna be short, and I wasn't kidding. This only went 30 minutes. So.
New record, oh my god.
Yeah.
You
So.
wanna place a bet on who you think will win overall since we're down to the final four?
God damn it. I think it's gonna come down to Blimax versus Trade in the grand finals. And we've seen Blimax utterly destroy Trade in one of them. In the last time they met. So.
Okay. So are we going to assume Blimax takes the whole thing?
Possibly. But. Possibly. It's like. It's. Okay. The way I compare this is to. The way I can compare this to is like when GXE had his road in TLT 3. Remember that? Because Nat was the front runner. Nat was the front runner of the whole thing. It was pretty easy to determine that Nat would win. So Trade would be our stand-in for GXE in this scenario. So
Really?
because Trade is the longtime Tours veteran that everyone likes, and then Blimax is the villain of Tours, the new villain of this tournament.
New villain.
So
We don't need Jiren anymore.
So Trade is gonna be the anime protagonist that will hopefully take it all at the end of the final season of this shonen. So
So I see. You're rooting for Trade.
yeah, let's go Trade. Anime protagonist Trade. Let's go.
I'm personally thinking Blimax will take it, but I am also rooting Trade.
All right, that is our predictions for
Trade or Danny, honestly.
All right. I could see Danny also winning. All right, so that will be the end.
No, I'm just talking about who I'm rooting for, not who I actually think will win.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I personally think Danny's the least likely out of these four.
Ouch. And Danny's really good, so that just goes to show you how the level of Tours players has gone increasingly up.
We put Danny in like A tier originally, right?
I think so.
And
Yeah.
I think the rest of these guys are S tier.
Yeah. Clear difference there, folks. So, that brings us to the end of this video. Tune in again. Tune in again tomorrow where we cover the remaining matches, and hopefully let's get excited for the grand
Did you just say tomorrow?
Next week we'll cover all the amazing matches from the grand final. So,
Yes.
so
Good.
thank you all for watching.
Jeremy.
Leave a like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell to get early access to my videos.
Yes, you're doing it. You're doing it.
And
Get it.
and of course, watch these matches. Like, get hype, because we really don't know who's gonna win, but it's gonna be an exciting watch. I might do loud comments.